Dry Lake reunion here at Edwards Air Force Base plays host to enthusiasts that span generations. And unlike other events, the cars here have to do more than just look good. These hot rods prove their worth by breaking land speed records with blistering runs down the hard-packed surface. However, before the anxious racers can run their creations, they have to pass tech inspection.
This is the technical area that all the cars come through here have to be safety inspected. Drivers are suited up, put in the cars. That meets all the requirements of the rule book. And this is also now that we've started running is our impound area, where somebody that sets a record will come in here, have their gasoline checked, their body certified, and their record put in the record book. Right. Some of the things we're looking for are the roll bars, that they meet the requirements of the rule book. The wheels and tires, obviously, all the safety items that we require, helmet, driver suit, they're all up to date and in good condition. The sheet that we use, it follows the rule book, page by page, item by item. So a competitor can get the inspection sheet and his rule book and build his car right along with it. Then our inspectors take that sheet and go right down through that checklist, and each item is outlined in the rule book in more detail than the checklist. We generally have between 10 and 15 inspectors. You know, they've been doing this for 30 years. A lot of them are racers themselves. They'll help out with tech inspection. When that's done, we'll go ahead and they'll get in their cars and go out and try to set a record.
After an absence of 50 years, the Southern California Timing Association is making its third annual visit to Muroc Dry Lake. The Army Air Corps closed the lake to hot rodders during World War II and then used it for speed trials of their own. This year, there are 164 entries competing in countless classes. Competitors arrive early and gather for a driver's meeting with SCTA President Mike Cook.
Turn out just like El Mirage. If you have a problem, you turn out towards the timing stand, which would be to the right. If everything's good, take your time and turn out to the left. Do not drive your car on the return road.
Unlike the Bonneville Salt Flats, dry lake courses like Muroc run a shorter layout.
The course, what we're running on here is a dried up lake bed. And it's a 1.5 mile racetrack with 0.8 of a mile to shut off. I really feel confident we're going to see probably about a 270 to 280 mile an hour top speed of the meet. And we'll be running hopefully with a tailwind the whole time.
On hand this year were land speed racing dignitaries such as NHRA Chairman Wally Parks and fuel injection pioneer Stu Hilburn, who became the first man to run 150 miles per hour on a dry lake bed.
Well, this is pretty nostalgic for me. The last time I was here at Muroc was exactly 60 years ago when I ran my car here.
At the heart of the event beats the timing equipment.
Bob Higbee, he's our starter. He's in communication with a timing stand down there. Those two people are really the heart of the racing event. Once they get through the clocks, it's a computer readout, then it's brought back up through here, all computerized again, and handed out with a timing slip.
In hot rodding's early days, land speed racing created the performance technology that fueled the early years of drag racing. Today, the reverse is true. Drag racing's corporate agenda stimulates technology that now trickles down to land speed racing. Don't go away, there's lots more when American Hot Rodder returns. Welcome back to the American Hot Rodder. Land speed racing has always been a test bed for technological advancements. An entire speed sport industry grew out of a few pioneers' ingenuity. Today, the dry lakes are teeming with state-of-the-art machinery. Let's head over to pit lane and check out some more amazing hardware.
This car is what you would call a Lakester. It's a blown fuel Lakester class, open-wheeled. No streamlining of the tires. The engine is 255 cubic inches, has an 871 supercharger on it. Just a 4-cylinder Chrysler that we've cut in half and made an inline 4-cylinder out of it. And a lot of nitro. Horsepower would be a guess, but I'd say somewhere in between 12 and 1,500 horsepower. This car is basically designed after a dragster. as far as the chassis goes, except it's made out of much heavier tubing. We don't want the lightweight things out here. We're running on dirt and we need the traction, and weight helps us. We have another 600 pounds of added weight in the back of the car to help hook it up. The wing on this car is a wing off of an alcohol dragster. Probably puts out about 1,200 pounds downforce.
He's earned the name Fearless Fred Dannenfelser, and his passion for speed trials grew from a lifetime of trying all forms of racing.
I started in probably about 1953 drag racing, and got up to top fuel back up until about 1963. Started racing motorcycles. Raced the desert for a number of years, ran the first 4 Barstow to Vegas runs that they had with minor success. Then just got back to going to Bonneville again with some friends of mine in 1970, and been running Bonneville ever since then. And that's when we started dry lakes racing, coming out to El Mirage, running on the dirt, and just loved it and been doing it ever since.
Today at Muroc, Dannenfelser sets a new record of 268.387. Next up at the start line was Jack Costello, who told us about his stealthy streamliner.
Our top speed in this car has been 313. We hold more records than any other streamliner. We hold a total of 7 records. So now we're trying for the 350-inch gas Chevy record. And here at this course, we're geared for somewhere between 230, 220, 230, something like that.
No power-robbing suspension or engineering ground effects here. Just a low profile to try and drive under the wind. The front tire layout is in line and slightly offset for better aerodynamics. Power is supplied by the venerable 350 Chevy, a small block perfectly suited to the streamliner's narrow shape.
It's not a very radical engine. It's basically an engine in a very mild state of tune to develop the broad power band, much like a stock truck. In other words, the job that we have here is we throw our leverage advantage, meaning gears advantage, out the window as soon as we shift into high gear. And then it's a long, hard pull, much like a truck full of sand trying to pull a grade.
Jack Costello's Nebulous 3 was hand-built in every sense. No computer, high-tech composite material, or wind tunnel was employed in the shaping of the streamliner's body.
The body was constructed, it was actually wrapped around the chassis, was completed first. I used various mediums, plywood, plaster, foam. Matter of fact, on this body I used paper mache. My theory is make the car invisible or go under the air. And that's what drives my designs. An unaccepted radical principle, so to speak. My whole working career, I've been a model maker. And, you know, and I've always liked to prove how well my designs work.
Battling the loose and uneven surface, Costello sets a new Muroc class record.
What's behind you?
Another entry competing this year was Team Viper, driven by Herb Helbig.
It's a 1996 Viper GTS Coupe. This particular car is one of our development cars and was actually a car that we used to introduce the car back in 1996. Our class is called AGT. The A stands for the cubic inches of the motor. It's GT because it's a coupe, limited production grand touring car, and that's exactly what the Viper Coupe is.
The Viper Coupe has proven itself to be one heck of a race car. This multi-dimensional car has been ripping up the storied Le Mans track for 3 years and won this year's GT2 class. No small achievement since it was the first American win at Le Mans in 30 years. Team Viper now has its sights set on a land speed record, and Muroc Dry Lakes is a good place to start.
We came up here today to finish our licensing passes, get some miles on the car. It's a brand new car. We've never had it up here before. We were able to make our first pass in less than ideal conditions at about 130 miles an hour. If you look inside the car, it looks just like the Dodge Viper on your dealership floor, and that was exactly how we wanted to do it. We wanted to demonstrate the potential of the Dodge Viper such that people know that when you come out here, the car is capable of 200 miles an hour, and it's basically the same kind of car that you can buy in your Dodge dealership. This car is basically a stock car. It's got a Viper V10 all-aluminum 488 cubic inch motor in it. It's been modified with typical hot rod tricks, forged crank, forged pistons, forged connecting rods. It's got headwork, it's got a bigger cam, it's got a special intake system, all within the limits of the class requirements, which are basically that you have to run a Dodge motor in the car. We have a roll cage built into the car, we have a fire system in the car. But other than that, the safety requirements, that's all we did to the car. It's been lowered, and we have a parachute as required for cars that run over 175 miles an hour. With a new car, you got to spend a lot of time paying attention to little things and make sure that when you're up there at the 150, 170 miles an hour, starting to knock on the double century mark, that you're not going to have a problem with the vehicles. And that's what we're learning about the car today. We think the car has great potential. If the track were a little bit better, I think we'd be able to go a lot faster, but we're going to get there.
Herb sets a new Muroc class record of 178.230. The action continues from the Dry Lakes when American Hot Rodder returns.
Welcome back to the American Hot Rodder. Our visit to the Muroc Dry Lake Reunion Land Speed Trials continues with an array of vehicles that never fail to impress. Let's take a look.
Strapped in at the starting line is Jim Lattin, who told us about his historical Indy Roadster.
This car originally started out, it was built by Eddie Kuzma. It was set up to run the 1959 Indianapolis race, and Eddie Sachs drove it, qualified second quick, and put it on the front row in 1959. I purchased the car after it had been turned into a super modified and was pretty well torn up. It had been shortened, a Chevy had been put in it, and they'd run it on the dirt and then crashed it a few times. And we dug up all the history on the car, and with the help of some of my friends, we put it back together in the condition it is now. I actually went up and visited Eddie Kuzma, who was still alive at the time, and he had all of his original photos of him building the car with the help of Don Edmonds, and we did all of the body work and replaced the front chassis from pictures and measurements we got from Kuzma. And when I found this car and found that it was, it was just a perfect example of engineering at its finest in '59, and it qualifies for the vintage oval track class, and it was as slippery as any car you'd find, we decided to go ahead and bring it out here and run it before we restore the car back to original condition. And this is not one of the first lay-down off-e motors, but one of the ones that got introduced at that early age, and it's just much smaller profile, much slipperier, more streamlined than most of the cars that were in the field. They actually built the engine, laid it on its side, and built the car around the engine. It's just shoehorned into place to take up, to have as little frontal area as you could possibly get. Hopefully we're getting something over 400 horsepower. Bruce Crowder ground the cams for it, and he was quite famous in building offies and knows how to put a cam together. The car in '59 was clocked at somewhere between 175 and 180 miles an hour at Indianapolis. So with the gearing and probably a little additional horsepower that we're producing now, the car's capable of 200 miles an hour out here or at Bonneville.
Making history once again, the Kuzma Roadster sets a new Muroc class record of 147.266. Next up on the starting line is John Lee, who filled us in on his modified Roadster.
It's a 1927 T Roadster, and it's what they call a modified Roadster, so we can lengthen it. It has a 371 cubic inch motor in it. We run on gasoline, and then we run a blower on it, which is a PSI blower. It's called a screw blower. It's the only type of blower that doesn't have any parts that touch outside of the gears that drive it, and it creates no heat. When you run gasoline, gasoline creates heat itself, where alcohol and nitro do not.
John Lee is a veteran of land speed racing, and his love of speed brings him out to the Dry Lakes when others would have quit. A freeway accident in 1970 confined John to a wheelchair, but racing is in his blood. In 1996, on Father's Day, he suffered a horrifying 170-mile-per-hour crash in his Roadster on El Mirage Dry Lake when his rear tires failed. The car was rebuilt and repainted, and John continues to set records in it.
All right, I started racing in 1954. Then in 1960, I went drag racing, and I drove professionally for about 10 years there. I tried boat racing and I tried off-road racing, but when you've been drag racing and you attain speeds of over 200 and a lot of G-force, it's inside of you and you want to come back. So I built this Roadster to run on the dirt, and I knew it would get over 200 and it would be a pretty good ride. And as far as disability goes, can't walk, but I can still drive. It has a manual shift, but I don't use that. I use an air shift where I press the button and it basically shifts the car. When we shift it, it goes into first gear, second gear, third gear. And I do that when the tachometer gets to the speed I want it to. And while I'm doing that, this is the throttle, and I'm pushing on the throttle, which is right here. And this is a little parachute release, which is electronic, and we just hit it, and it pulls the wire, which lets the parachute out. The braking is right here, and I don't use it except on the starting line and then after the parachutes are out. This run, I took it to 8,000 RPM before I shifted into second, 8,000 before I shifted into third. And that way, when I got to the loose part of the course, I was going faster, and I didn't have to apply as much horsepower to get the speed that I wanted, which was 220 miles an hour. I didn't need to go that fast to break the record, but that's what it turned out.
A new B-Fuel Lakester really caught our eye. Bill Scott fills us in on this unusually designed vehicle.
Oh, what we're trying to do is trying to build something a little different. I mean, you can go out and build the same thing everybody else has, and then you're going to run the same. So this is kind of like a late model top fuel type thing with wheels exposed, rear engine. But this is a newer design made by the Aravette brothers for us, which is a ground effects. We're actually using the air to force or to pull the car down. It's got tunnels running under the car. We narrow the air down, speed it up, and then have a diffuser out the back to suck the car down. Plus, we're using the top of the car. Everybody says, well, why a wedge? Well, the wedge will actually have some downforce. So what we do is try and make the air go around all the obstacles that we had to start with, meaning the engine. So it had to be a certain width. The air had to go that wide anyway. And we have skirts on the outside and skirts on the inside. It's within a half-inch ground clearance within 80 thousandths, 24 feet. So it's pretty technical, even though it may not look like it. It's a pretty technical car. The body's made out of sheet aluminum, 6061 T6. They're old IndyCar tires, like in the, I think, early 60s. It's an early model top fuel motor type thing. It's got a KB, which is an all aluminum motor, aluminum heads. We have an 871 supercharger on it, which normally we'll start the thing with the fuel on, and then once the motor starts, we'll pull it off a little bit to get it to run a little leaner, and then once we leave the starting line, we'll push it in so it doesn't drop a cylinder, so forth. It's got the air shifter on this side. Easy, all you do. It's got air in it. And I get out there, probably shift, I think we're about 200 miles an hour, shift into high. It's just a low-high type thing. Just run her down there, shift her into high about 200, and gas it and go. Hope it runs.
Well, not quite 200 today, but the 116.530 is good enough for a new Muroc class record. The fastest run of the meet when the American Hot Rodder returns. Back to the American Hot Rodder and our coverage of the land speed trials at Muroc Dry Lake. After 2 days of running, the fastest time of the meet was posted by fearless Fred Dannenfelser with a 268.387 mile per hour run in his B-Fuel Lakester. This next run is by motorcyclist Ron Cook, and it really attracted a lot of attention. He starts to lose control here. Oh, he made the mistake of sitting up, and at 170 miles per hour, he is blown off the bike, and now he's hooked up trying to free himself. He's face down. Finally, he's loose.
Another festival of land speed racing from Muroc Dry Lakes has just been entered into the record books. Thanks to the Southern California Timing Association for safeguarding hot rodding's roots and for inspiring a new generation. I hope you've enjoyed our visit to this historic racing venue, which continues to fuel our need for speed. I'm Mike Muroc.